Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today I bring you another video in my very favorite Tier 6 battleship, the premium Royal Navy Tier 6 battleship HMS Nelson. And today I want to talk to you about the value of tanking damage in a battleship, and by doing so, wasting the time of the enemy players. The value of wasting the enemy player's time, I don't think, can be understated. And the Nelson is particularly good at doing just that. And that is what we are going to do in this game. But before we really get into the nitty-gritty of all that, I just want to say we're up past 700 subscribers right now. I think we're closing in on 750, which means, according to the projections I can gather, if the rate of growth stays roughly the same, we'll be at 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, which is absolutely fantastic. I honestly can't believe it. I never thought when I was starting out doing this that I would experience this kind of growth. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. And I promise when we do hit that 1,000 subscriber number, we're going to have a stream, a 1,000 subscribers special stream, probably on a Friday night, as my streams usually are. And I believe I have secured a very special guest player to join me in that stream. I'm not going to say who it is. I'll let you guys guess, but I think you'll be pretty excited about it when it happens. Anyway, we're moving in here with the Nelson. Now at this point, we've got 3, 4, 5 enemy ships spotted in this general area by the Charlie Cap, and they're all right here. Right now they're focused on the friendly destroyer, who's just outside the Charlie Cap and has gone down, leaving only me in the Nelson, and I think a friendly cruiser left on this side of the map. Meanwhile, our team is securing the Bravo Cap, and Alpha is not yet quite being contested, but it will be soon. We've got an Atlanta out there. The Atlanta is beginning his wonderful process of showering us with his golden hot HE. We're on fire twice, but the Nelson does not care about being on fire at all. I am fully comfortable with letting both of these fires burn out, and then using the zombie heal to reprint myself a new ship. The only question is whether I can hit this Atlanta in return for some devastating damage. Now I'm firing HE, which maybe goes against the grain of conventional wisdom, but as I've talked about many times, the HE on the Nelson is ridiculously strong, and it is fully capable of scoring a Citadel hit on an Atlanta. Now we do put the fire out. We are starting to take some decent penetrating shots from the battleships out there. And we want to reverse now to get out of the Atlanta's effective range of fire. The Atlanta, of course, has a very short range of fire, and if you're outside of it, then you don't have to worry about the golden showers of HE shells raining down upon you and causing you pain and consternation. So you can see we've reversed. We're pretty much already out of the Atlanta's range, and there's 3 unspotted ships on the enemy team in this general area, and there is currently 1 spotted ship. They are all sort of holding down this position. They've stopped firing at me for the moment, but that is going to change if they can take down the friendly cruiser that they are all intent on killing. And there he goes. It was a Pensacola. Now the enemy team here has taken the lead. They have 424 points to our 200, so they've got almost a 200 point advantage. We have 1 cap secured, they have 1 cap secured. The difference is the majority of their team is on this side of the map, and there's only maybe 1 or 2 ships near the alpha cap, which means that my team should have a pretty easy time, once they get going, entering that alpha cap and flipping it. Meanwhile, here I am with the Queen Elizabeth. We're in kind of a duel. Queen Elizabeth is shooting HE at me, has lit 2 fires once again, but that's okay. Content to let those burn for a time. We see now the 3 enemy ships there. We've got a cruiser and possibly a destroyer that decided to go around the islands to our right. Not sure why they did that. I think maybe they wanted to try and get a crossfire going on me. And eventually one of them is going to do that, but a little bit of a waste of time there on their part trying to go around the islands just to do that. Effectively took them out of the game for 2-3 minutes, however long it was, and you know, that's not good. You don't want to be taking yourself out of a position where you can be engaged with the enemy in some capacity, you know, depending on your ship type. Either shooting at the enemy or spotting the enemy, or spending your time wisely in domination modes like this by taking the capture points. Now you can see the majority of my team is closing in on Alpha. We've had Bravo secured. It's 4 ships versus 0 now. Looks like they took him out. So they're going to enter that Alpha cap and begin to flip it. Meanwhile, the majority of the enemy team is over here. I'm not honestly sure what they're doing. I think T-Bull refers to that kind of activity as buffing your Dewey. Perhaps that's what they're doing. Or they're waiting for me to push in so that they can shoot at the big juicy damage pinata that is the Nelson. Presumably, when you're sitting on the other side of, you know, the Nelson, spamming HE at it or AP, whatever, watching it deploy its zombie heal, you see effectively we've lost maybe a quarter of our health throughout this entire time. Bayern's getting some nasty penetrations on us though. Anyway, it's probably pretty enticing to watch your damage numbers go up as you shoot at the Nelson. And, you know, damage is fine, but if you're going to spend all your time shooting at a Nelson, or trying to get into a position like that cruiser over there to my right, to get a crossfire on me and not taking the capture circles, not reinforcing your team at either Bravo or Alpha, wherever it is, and you're just going to spend all your time focusing down a single battleship, then you're probably going to find that the game is not going to go your way. Now, we take down the Queen Elizabeth. We're pretty unhealthy right now. We are in imminent danger of dying. We've got that Bayern in front of us. He can overmatch the Nelson's bow armor with his 15-inch guns, so we do have to be careful about being angled. Again, just because this gun caliber, 15 inches, can overmatch your bow armor doesn't mean you can't angle against it and mitigate damage. If we were pointing our nose squarely at that Bayern, he could punch right through the armor and citadel us, but because we're presenting an angle, some of his shells are hitting the armor on the side, bouncing off. We're able to deploy our heal now and get up to about half health or so. The danger pushing in like this is it's hard to maintain the angle, and the flat shell arcs as you push so close to a battleship are definitely capable of punching through the armor and taking you out. The Bayern, though, I don't know if he doesn't respect the Nelson's AP, but there's 25k on his broadside. No citadels or anything because this is short fused AP, but, you know, pretty catastrophic damage. We're on fire twice now. Basically the entire enemy team, or what's left of them, is shooting at us. There's a single enemy ship in Bravo trying to flip it. They have succeeded, but our team is moving in to secure that capture point yet again. and then they are going to come up on these guys. Now I do hit the Bayern there, nearly take him out, but it's not quite enough. Not presenting the best angle possible to him, so I am taken out by the Bayern. Racked up a total of 117,000 damage. Nothing too special, but now the state of the game, we've got 4 friendly ships versus 5 enemy ships, 2 of which are destroyers. So you would think that the enemy team would have the advantage here. One of their destroyers has flipped Bravo, but the other one was hanging around Charlie doing, I'm honestly not entirely sure what. I suspect he was trying to pull something over on me. Last known location for him, if you can see, is on the northern corner of that formation of islands to go around it. So I think he was going with the cruiser, perhaps in an attempt to come around behind me and try to wreak havoc. Essentially, though, I spent the entirety of this match kind of tying up the enemy in that corner of the map. Now, they could have disengaged, they could have gone the other way, they could have tried to secure Bravo that my team had taken, but they didn't. And now it's 4 versus 4, at least for the moment. This New Mexico looks like he is about to, well, you know, he only took 1 torpedo, so I guess he's okay. Team is working on flipping Bravo, and doing that is going to help tremendously in terms of maintaining a lead. Switching over to the other New Mexico here, and you can see that they are moving forward, trying to get into a position to take on these remaining enemies. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit toward where some engagements start to really happen. Oh, no, never mind, they're happening now. There is the Bayern being shot at by, I think, one of the friendly New Mexicos. Obviously, we took away most of his hit points, and then the New Mexico is able to finish him off, leaving only a Pensacola and 2 destroyers to deal with the 2 battleships and 2 cruisers. The enemy has only succeeded in holding Charlie for the duration of this game, and as such, they are in a position to lose. Essentially, this is my team's game to lose right now. Wall of torpedoes incoming for the friendly New Mexico. Unfortunately, he's not in a position where he can avoid them, so they are going to hit him and take him out, but it's okay. My team has created such a points lead, the enemy Pensacola goes down to the friendly Dallas there, that it almost doesn't matter. And now there are 2 destroyers left who have no choice but to try and kill the 3 remaining friendly ships. Not likely to happen if you've got a Fiji shooting at you in a Gaeta. And this Fiji is going to take this Gaeta out, leaving only a single enemy destroyer left, and my team is going to go on to win this game. Now, I'm not going to be on a super high position on the leaderboard here. I'm going to be in, I think, 3rd place, which is fine. You know, you don't always have to be in first every time. But when you're in a battleship, a lot of the time, if you can get the enemy to shoot at you and you can sit there and tank the damage, and if you have the Nelson, you certainly can tank a lot of damage. I think my average attracted damage is 1.1 million. That attracted damage, I think, is the amount of damage that, you know, you tank in a game. And the Nelson is my most played ship, so I am able to see that number. However, in the relatively near future, we should be able to have access to stats that will show us that stat and others on specific single ships. So, you know, we can get a better idea of how our performance in particular ships is. In any case, the match is about to end here in our victory, and You may disagree with me, but I think a big part of that was my position on the map there, south of Charlie, tying up the enemy team, distracting them with the big, fat, juicy target that is the Nelson. That allowed my team to take Alpha and Bravo without incredibly tough resistance, since most of the resistance was directed at me. 10 seconds left in the match. It's going to end, of course, with our victory. And there you have it. So, hopefully you found this discussion interesting, and hopefully you liked the video. If so, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not done that already. We're going to hit 1,000 soon, and I am pretty excited about it. So thank you so much. I will see you next time. Goodbye.